Welcome to the 2001 MAAC Basketball Championships from the HSBC Arena in Buffalo, New York. It is the championship game for the women's tournament, and the top two teams in the MAAC's regular season are the top two teams in the MAAC's postseason. Let's take a look at how Siena and Fairfield have reached tonight's title game. We take you to semifinal action yesterday. Siena, the regular season champ, taking on St. Peter's, and Gunta Bashko performing at a high level. The league's player of the year, going inside against the St. Peter's P-Heads defense on her way to a 17-point performance, showing the turnaround moves with the baseline jumper. But Bashko can play outside as well. She steps out for the three, and the sophomore from Latvia had a big game in yesterday's victory. She was not alone. Also on the Siena Saints, the Rookie of the Year, Liena Jansone, the freshman from Latvia, inside Jansone for two. Two more inside for Jansone on her way to 11 points in yesterday's effort. How about the balance of the Saints? And another young player, sophomore from Detroit, Mary McKissick, underneath for two of her points in yesterday's game. And McKissick helping out the Siena Saints reach their second final in the history of Siena basketball in the MAAC. The Fairfield Stags taking on Loyola, and it was Gail Strumpf, the player of the year last season, helping out down low. Strumpf, the leading scorer this season for the Stags, finished with 11 in their semifinal victory. Another young player, very talented, freshman Ayanna Brown, with a big game for the Stags in this victory over the Greyhounds. She had 14. Fairfield showing some nice ball movement and unselfish play. Thorne down to Brown, and Brown able to lay it up and in right there. And Gail Strumpf has a lot of assists in this tournament for a center. Strumpf with a bounce pass to Allison Thorne, and Fairfield advanced, defeating Loyola, and the Stags have made it to the championship game. Let's take a look at the brackets. The top four teams did advance out of the quarters, and again, 1 against 2. That's what we have for the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament that will be decided here in Buffalo tonight. Good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us. Howard Simon, Cecilia DeMarco will also be joined by David Scott, and I think we've got a whale of a game in store for you. It's appropriate that clearly the two best teams in the regular season are playing in this title game.
Oh, Howard, I waited all day for this game, and I'm sure these teams have waited all year. This is going to be the MAAC's finest.
Well, we talked a lot about the inside game for Fairfield, but don't ignore the outside game, and the key threat there is Holly Tapley.
Oh, Holly Tapley, the Citizen Player of the Year, shooting three. This young woman has the ability to light it up. She's had a down tournament in that she's not scored a lot of points. I say that Holly Tapley will have a breakout night tonight.
Back to Siena, and I don't know what more you can say about Gunta Bashko, but find a few more words.
Oh, Gunta. She is just the very best, and I have said this before. If I had one pick, it would be Gunta Bashko. She has had 2 double-doubles. She's a sophomore. How much better can she make this team? Only remains to be seen, Howard.
Well, let's try and figure out the keys to the game, and they are brought to you by Citizens Communications. We'll start with the Fairfield Stags.
Well, Fairfield has to get the ball inside. That's where they've done the bulk of their scoring. And they have to be able to handle the pressure. Siena is known for its defensive pressure on the perimeter. If Fairfield's guards can handle that, then they'll get some great scoring opportunities.
Now, for the Saints to head to the NCAA tournament, what did they have to do in this game?
Well, Fairfield will stand in the zone most of the evening. They've got to be able to shoot the ball well. They've got to be able to put it up and feel good about this shot. The other thing that they have to do is they have to defend hard on the perimeter. They have to get Fairfield's guards away from making good passes inside.
Well, both these teams come in playing very well. Siena's won 14 straight. Their last loss at Fairfield. Fairfield's won 9 straight. Their last loss to Siena. Go figure. But both teams are at the top of their game.
Well, they're at the top of their game. They both feel that they should be here. They're walking in with great confidence. It's going to go down to the last minute, Howard.
Well, tonight the trophy will be handed out to one of these two teams. Siena has never taken this trophy back to the Loudonville, New York campus. Fairfield has done it before. We'll see what happens. The MAAC title game next on the MAAC Television Network.
This game is brought to you in part by the Pepsi-Cola Company, the joy of Pepsi. By HSBC, your world of financial services. Continental Airlines, work hard, fly right. Citizens Communications, the official telecommunications company of the MAAC. Budget, get out of the ordinary with budget. And by the New York Lottery, New York Lotto. Will you be ready if it happens to you?
Welcome back to the HSBC Arena in Buffalo. The lights off right now as we get set for the starting lineups and the light show that will precede the MAAC championship game between the Fairfield Stags and the Siena Saints. Howard Simon, Cecilia DeMarco, and David Scott are with you, and thank you for joining us tonight to watch an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament get handed out. As I mentioned, Siena trying for their first ever. Fairfield has been there before on 3 occasions under Diane Nolan, most recently in 1998. Let's tell you a little bit about the starting lineups and tell you about some of the players you're going to see in this game playing for the MAAC Trophy tonight. Both teams have had exceptional seasons. We start with the Fairfield Stags. Ayanna Brown, who won the Rookie of the Week on numerous occasions and made the all-rookie team this year. The freshman has had a very strong tournament with 33 points in 2 games. Gail Strumpf, over 1,800 points in her fine career at Fairfield, the senior out of Beacon Falls, Connecticut. Shireen Isadora, the sophomore at 5'11". Isadora with 20 points in 2 tournament games. We mentioned Holly Tapley. Watch her three-point shooting. She has struggled from the perimeter in this tournament, though just 3 of 12. But the senior will want to have a big game tonight, I'm sure. And it all starts at the point. Look for Siena to try and disrupt Megan Light, the junior point guard, to keep Fairfield out of their flow offensively. Now, for the Siena Saints, here is their starting 5. We've talked about Gunta Vasko, the talented sophomore from Latvia. Sasha Baker, the lone senior in a very young starting lineup. As you look at the rundown, Liena Jansone, the freshman from Latvia and the Rookie of the Year. Erica Anderson, the fine sophomore who runs the offense for Gina Castelli. And Mary McKissick, another sophomore. Round out the starting 5 on a team that rolled through the MAAC at 17-1. Fairfield, by the way, went 16-2. Let's check in with a third member of our broadcast crew tonight, David Scott. David?
Thanks, Howard, and welcome to MAAC Championship Basketball. Interesting to note, Gina Castelli, the head coach at Siena, has been reading a book by Harvey McKay called Pushing the Envelope. The Siena fans behind me have taken to wearing a sticker shown here that says, "Stick to it till you get there." That's an inspirational saying from the book by Harvey McKay. And we're going to see just how far they can push the envelope. Back to you, Howard.
All right, David, thank you very much. Special appearance being made tonight. Linda Cohen here from ESPN. She has been in town all day as part of the MAAC program for women in athletics, and she spoke to a number of school kids today, and we'll have a ceremonial tip. And if she does it real well, you know, sometimes the officials have a problem with the tip. Let's see how Linda does here, and she might have herself another gig here.
Well, I know some of these officials, she may have their job.
Looks like she's explaining some ground rules to the players, too. At least getting into this. So here is your ceremonial tip-off tonight. Pretty even. Pretty good throw, you know. Nice.
Not bad.
Right
and Fairfield will want possession now. And you know, they'll look and say, hey, it's ours anyway.
Linda Cohen from ESPN getting a nice round of applause here in Buffalo as she heads off the court, and we're going to get ready for basketball. Gina Castelli, the head coach of the Siena Saints, in her 11th year, 178 and 129. And Castelli going for the MAAC title. Diane Nolan, great head coach at Fairfield, 21st year, 382 victories, and we are underway here in Buffalo. Fairfield has the 2 seed in the road. Black uniforms trimmed in red and white. Siena, the home team with the top seed. Gail Strumpf immediately inside, and she gets the first bucket of the game.
Well, Howard, they've elected Siena to have McKissick pick up Light and to have Anderson take Isadora, which is a little bit of a change in what they had done last time they played.
Yeah, the Gina Castelli mentioned she was going to try a few things different defensively tonight, show Fairfield some different looks. Tapley with the baseline jumper, no good. Bashko fighting for the rebound, and it's knocked out of bounds. Brown there for Fairfield, and will stay Stags' possession.
Well, Fairfield's a little bigger inside. Bashko, however, gets to the boards as well as any 6'3" player, so there's a little bit of an edge for Fairfield's size.
They split the regular season series, home court prevailing on both occasions. Both games were pretty close. One of them was a 10-point decision, but it was a matter of Fairfield at home cashing in on some free throws at the end to stretch it. Turnover here. Bashko trying to run, but it's 2-on-4, and wisely she waits for her teammates and runs into Ayanna Brown and hits the floor. She'll get back up. That's Erica Anderson from Northeastern Massachusetts running the point. Baker down low. Great look for Bashko, who finishes it off.
Siena can pass the basketball, and against the zone, they're very patient, very deliberate, very well coached. You'll see them stretch the zone all evening long.
Yeah, not a lot of teams play zone against Siena as much as Fairfield did. They did it predominantly in the 2 games against the Saints. You know, they don't want to get Jansone and Bashko having a big game against them, but as we see the traveling tonight, then it's up to the other players to either, one, hit your outside shot, Cecilia, or find the seams in that zone like they did right here.
Well, you take a look at Basco. She makes the cut, and Baker with just a great pass. Isadora got caught. Let her go back door on it.
Zoe Anderson brings it up for the Saints. Siena coming into action at 23-5. Jansoni spins. Can't get it to go off the glass. Grabs her own board, but it's blocked. It'll stay Siena basketball. Strumpf and Brown inside, blocking the last shot by Jansoni. Fairfield into this game, by the way, 25-4. I mean, both of these teams had just standout seasons. Now, the winner will get the automatic bid, and over the course of the game at some point, we'll talk about the team that doesn't win tonight and their chances of ending up in the NCAA tournament. Either way, you got to figure both of these teams will have more basketball beyond this game
This
tonight.
is not their last game.
There's always the WNIT, obviously.
Well, they've all been called about the WNIT, but both teams want to be at the big dance.
Absolutely. They're playing, and they're going to give everything they got for this one. Basco with the baseline drive draws the foul. The first foul of the game.
Boy, does she... You take a look. She just wants the basketball. She goes so strong to the left, double pump. Ayana comes over, and she gets the foul line.
So Basco finds herself at the free throw line. A 73% free throw shooter this season. It's a little iron, but it goes in. The MAAC Player of the Year, Gunta Basco, led the league in rebounding. She was third in points. As you see her numbers, averaging a double-double. Fifth in field goal percentage, third in steals. And I'll tell you what, we've seen her presence as a shot blocker in this tournament as well. She had 7 blocks in the first 2 games.
Well, she has the ability to start the team off quickly because she asks for the basketball and goes to the glass.
And the one theme that you're going to see us talk about as Ayana Brown hits the baseline jumper for Siena is they are a young team. Surprisingly, starting 4 underclassmen to go 23-5, 19-1 right now in MAAC play with 4 underclassmen. You're not supposed to do that. It doesn't happen.
And Howard, you wouldn't know it with the way that they're playing. McKissick has just been playing like a senior. A stat that I was reading, McKissick has scored 28 points in the last 2 games. It's more points than she had scored in the last 6 games of the regular season. So how ready is she for this tournament?
And that's from a sophomore. Usually seniors are the ones that step their game up at tournament time. On the drive by Light, we're going to get a blocking foul on Siena. Now let's talk a little bit about the history of this tournament as you see a nice shot of the HSBC Arena. Siena, 11-11, 1 MAAC final appearance. It happened here in Buffalo, and a heartbreaking loss to St. Peter's a couple of years ago, 64-62. Fairfield, steep in tournament history, 24-14, 7 final appearances, 3 tournament victories, all under the tutelage of Diane Nolan, as Megan Light hits them both. Most recently in '98, Fairfield winning in Albany. Ironically, they have not played well in Buffalo. They had been one and done the first 2 times the tournament came through Buffalo, but this time here they are in the finals. Off the miss, Light pushing it the other way. On the wing, Isadora. She'll pop the jumper over Basco, and Isadora's in the record books with her first basket of the night.
And Isadora's last year's Rookie of the Year.
Well, there's a lot of talented players on both teams. Players of the Year, Rookies of the Year. Strumpf was a Player of the Year. Basco was this year. Last year, Isadora, the Rookie of the Year. This year, it's Jansoni, and you could have made a pretty good argument for Ayana Brown as well. Brown gets the rebound there. A nice block out of Jansoni. And the Stags will bring it up court. 8-7 Fairfield, a little over 3 minutes into the MAAC championship game here in Buffalo.
And they're picking Megan Light up right at the half court, making her make a very wide entry pass to offense.
Tapley, her 3 in the air. Oh, in and out. She had it on the range there, but it bounced out. Nice rebound by Strumpf. And Isadora pumps her fist as she hits the bucket.
She's fired up.
Well, both teams are playing with great energy early on. Jansoni answers back for Siena.
Siena has done a nice job adding the running element to the game. Coach Castelli talked about how in the second half of the season, she just let the players go. They run the lanes very well, Howard.
Now, when all is said and done, usually defense wins championships, but keep in mind these are the top 2 offensive teams in the MAAC. Siena averaged 76 points, Fairfield right behind at 75. Light with the jumper there. Megan Light has 4 now. And we're off to a blazing start. 12-9 Fairfield, a little over 4 minutes in. I don't think this pace will be kept up for the whole game, by the way. Baker in and out on the three.
And they sure don't look like this is the third game they've played in 3 days.
No, nobody looks tired. They're getting some awfully good looks, Cecilia. I mean, there's been some open jumpers that have not fallen in this game. Brown trying to post up Bosco. Look at that off the glass. She can't get it to fall, but nice body control as she got under and to the side of Gunta Bosco to get that shot off. Bosco, a little behind the back dribble from your post player. That's a nice touch.
She can do everything from the point. She plays that forward position if she is the point.
Good start so far. Fairfield leads at 12-9 over Siena. 15:21 left in the first half. They're playing for a MAAC championship here in Buffalo on the MAAC Television Network. Great start to this one. Fairfield and Siena, and the Stags have the early three-point lead at 12-9. And by the way, HSBC is proud to sponsor the HSBC Family Section. Tickets and programs for today's game were provided by HSBC, your world of financial services. Well, let's see, this is game number 17 of 18 games in the MAAC tournament here, men's and women's. And a lot of basketball being contested since Thursday. One more game to come, the men's title game tomorrow night, as Canisius will take on Iona. Stags on an 8-2 run. You look at the numbers. They're shooting well, 63%. Siena only at 38%. That ball is lost, touched on the out-of-bounds line. It'll stay Siena possession. That bears out what happened in the regular season series. Siena did not shoot well, really, in either of the two games, even though they won one. The game they won, I think Fairfield turned the ball over 31 times.
And Fairfield just averages 15 or 16 turnovers a ball game. Both teams don't give the basketball up very often.
That one goes well, as we say that, right through the hands of Mary McKissick and out of bounds and turned it over. But, I mean, I think that's product of solid point guard play. And when you talk about Megan Light and Erica Anderson, you're talking about very good point guards for both of these teams.
And Erica Anderson, 37 minutes last night, 13 points, 1 turnover.
No, that's great numbers. Anderson has had just 3 turnovers in the whole tournament. We have a hold there and a foul on Siena. You get a good look at Mary McKissick from Detroit. As Cecilia mentioned, just had a very strong 2 games. So has this young lady checking in, Audra Spermulo, who has 12 points off the bench in the first 2 games and really gives Gina Castelli some energy off the bench. Spermulo is a senior, and she's from Bridgeport, Connecticut. She would love to leave with that first MAAC title.
Well, I'm sure she saw some of these players in high school and wants to go back to Connecticut, talking about how they took the tournament.
Well, look at this one. The ball taken away by Fairfield. Allison Thorne in the game, and Allison Thorne gets a big bucket off that takeaway. Quickly back Siena on offense. Well, I'm sure some of the Siena upperclassmen who played in the game here 2 years ago also remember having to watch St. Peter's cut the nets down and leave town with the trophy. And if you've seen that, it kind of gives you that fire to try and get one yourself. Baker, one of those seniors who saw that night, cans the baseline jumper. Tapley will bring it up for Fairfield. Both these coaches have a solid, let's say, 2-3 players off the bench. They won't go much beyond that. Baseline jumper by Light is no good. Yansoni makes it one and done, and then contact in the backcourt. And a foul on Fairfield as Erica Anderson is hit.
Look at how strong as you look at this. Allison Thorne has just done yeoman's work on the boards. When Ayanna Brown needs a blow, Allison Thorne comes in and gives it to her. She's been a big reason that those 3 players, Brown, Schrumpf, and herself, have just been able to get 27, 28 minutes of ball game.
Well, Thorne, a 5th-year senior, has really thrived in the role coming off the bench. She used to be a starter. Basket and the foul. Gunta Bosco. She's pretty pumped up as well after she got that hoop. She'll go to the free throw line for a chance to finish off a 3-point play.
Well, look here. Gunta just takes it to the hole, wraps around, really creates the contact, and has enough body control to finish it off. Gunta, Howard, has, well, this will be the 5th point of her ball game, but as you take a look, the Saints are just shooting 38% of the floor to Fairfield 62. How hard can it get?
Well, you know what, and they're tied.
Yeah.
So if you're Gina Castelli, you got to figure, okay, that's not bad.
That's not bad.
You're getting outshot like that. You're tied in this game. Strump, good passer for a post player. That one is knocked out of bounds. She tried to create and get it to Tapley.
And Yansoni got down as if she were a guard. She bent those knees at 6'1" and was moving her feet. She looked like she was a camp during a drill.
You got to do everything in the title game. Danilo, pass it to the corner for Baker. We are tied at 14. Bosco can't hit the baseline jumper, and then she tapped it out of bounds on the rebound.
She does such a good job of following her shot and keeping her hand up when she does, because when the ball comes back her way, she always gets a little bit of a deflection.
Well, she's just completing her sophomore year. She's already in the top 25 in scoring in Siena history, and I got a feeling she'll be certainly in the top 5, you figure, when she graduates. That one lost out of bounds off of Siena. It'll stay Stag basketball. And you get a good look at Gunja Bosco.
And to think that all but one player in that starting 5 will be back, and almost 90% of the point production will be back with her.
But you never know, that's the thing I'm sure Gina Castelli is preaching, and I'm sure that's what the seniors are telling the underclassmen. There's no guarantee you ever get back to this point again. You need to jump on the opportunity when you get here.
Well, there's no guarantee that everyone stays healthy, everyone returns to school. Life has a funny way of throwing some curves at you, but boy, if they do, and they do come back, watch out.
Gina Castelli will add to her record, which she's already the winningest coach in Siena College history. She'll just add to it. If they win tonight, by the way, this will be the best season in Siena history. Jansoni with the baseline, with the foul line jumper. Jansoni has 4, and Siena back in front, 16-14.
And Siena's picking these guards up early. We talked about it. They're using different people on Light. They're going to force her to pass the ball early.
Rumpf, kick out, Isadora. Over Anderson. And Basco's there for the board. Anderson quickly the other way. Baker. Got it to go. Sasha Baker has got some of the best moves in the conference in terms of getting into the lane, cutting through defenses, and she's got 6. And it's a 4-point lead for the Saints.
Fairfield's trying to relieve some pressure on the guards by setting very high screens.
But again, that just takes your offense away from the basket. Strumpf working inside and around Jansoni for the basket.
And it's okay, Liana, if you can do it, I can do it.
Nice move inside by the senior from Beacon Falls, Connecticut, Gail Strumpf. You can guarantee she'll be on the all-tournament team when it's announced after this game. Anderson's 3, around and out. Thorne grabs the board for the Stags.
And what a pace we're going at, Howard.
I wonder if they can keep this up for 40 minutes.
Well, we have to remember that they're all under 21.
Yeah, they're not like us. Me, I would have been on the bench grasping for a towel and gasping for air and looking for water. Tapley through 3, leaves it left to the rim, and Thorne gets the rebound batted out of her hands. Bosco with the block, a 2-on-1. Baker to Spermulo, who lays it up and in. I almost thought Baker held on to that too long, Cecilia, but she waited and waited, and it left Spermulo the easy layup underneath.
Well, she pulled back her dribble and waited for Spermulo to get in position. Heads-up play on Baker's part.
Spermulo almost with the strip, trying to disrupt Light, as we've talked about, but gets called for the reach-in foul right there.
Well, it's a very effective tactic on Siena's part.
Saints have a 4-point lead, 20-16. It'll be Fairfield ball when we come back. 10:40 left in the first half in the MAAC championship game. Siena with a 20-16 lead over Fairfield. Not quite the halfway point of this first half of the title game. Citizens Communications bringing you the Did You Know feature, brought to you by Citizens Communications, the official telecommunications company of the MAAC. The last time a MAAC women's team received an at-large bid, the NCAA tournament, 1989. LaSalle went on to defeat UConn in round 1, lost to Tennessee in round 2. One of these two teams, the loser obviously, hoping to get an at-large bid this season.
You take a look here. Basco, nice block, and triggers the fast break. She's quick enough. She sees Baker streaking. Streaking sets up Light. Underneath, Spermulo finishes off. What a nice play from a block that started with the Basco move on the defensive end.
So the transition game paying off for 2 points for the Siena Saints. Let's check in with the third member of our broadcast crew, David Scott. David.
In on the Fairfield huddle there, and they're going to try and switch up the defenses each time down, try and confuse Siena a little bit, go 1-3-1, 2-3, and also have seen a little bit of box and one on Basco, but so far that hasn't been as effective as I think Coach Nolan would hope. Cecilia, what would you do to defend Basco at this point?
Oh, geez, I'd probably ask the officials for help.
Hope she comes down with a flu or something.
I don't agree that you take a box and one and do something so dramatically different against a great player. It's not shutting Bosco down. You don't have to shut Bosco down. You have to shut the other players down. So give her points. Let her get her 20, but keep her off the boards.
Fairfield in zone now. Chrissy Lolliger in the game, and Jolene Johnston off that timeout for Siena. Lolliger 21 in right. Johnston 40 in right. Lolliger bounce pass, Bosco. Puts right, goes left. Off the glass, no good. Rebound, Strumpf clears it out. With authority, I might add.
And this is a small lineup now. Without Leanna on the court, Basco's really your biggest player. If Fairfield's going to take advantage inside, this is the time.
Yeah, Johnston's giving, look at this height advantage for Strumpf. Johnston's definitely giving a few inches there. Tapley with the follow, can't get it. Isadora in the lane, grabbed by Erica Anderson.
And you had 3 times that Fairfield has a chance. Now Strumpf can't be taking fall-away jumpers against Lawler. She's got to get her in the block and really post her up closer to the basket.
Yeah, she does have the advantages. We take a look at this play. Now look at Strumpf posting up, but look at the advantage she had, and you're right. She can hit that shot. I mean, that is part of her game, but if you've got that advantage, you'd like to probably take it a little closer. Off the inbounds, it's stolen by the Saints. McKissick wrapped up by Light. They'll rule a jump ball, and the arrow will favor the Siena Saints.
Good hands on Megan Light's part. Shows the ball, all ball. Officials right on the play and makes a good call. Right now, the officials done a good job. Both teams, no one's in any real foul trouble. You got 4 fouls. No one's going to get to the line early.
Anderson running the offense again. Started every game at point guard since she came to the Capital District to play for the Saints. Look at the drive by Bosco. Too hard, though. Can't get it to drop. Nice move left on the side of the lane as she's able to get to the hoop.
And they've matched up Thorne when they're playing player against Bosco, hoping that Thorne can bump her a little bit as she goes to the basket.
Strumpf with the, she can't get it to fall, and she was hacked from behind by Chrissy Lolliger. That's what we were talking about that you want Gail Strumpf to do right now, is to get the ball down low.
Oh, you want her to. You want her on the pass right here. Nice pass on Light's part to go inside. Stay on the block, a foot from the basket, and power it up.
Strumpf hoping to close off a very strong career at Fairfield with another MAAC championship. She was a freshman when the Stags won back in 1998.
Well, Gail really feels, Howard, that she was denied. Last year in the semifinals, she hurt her knee after the season, had knee surgery, and played in the championship game, but hobbled. And she feels as if that she wanted to come back and do it right. And she has the chance tonight.
Well, this senior class, no matter what, you talk about a senior class that's gone to 3 title games in 4 years. I think any senior class will be more than happy to put that on the resume. Gail Strumpf and Allison Thorne and Holly Tapley, the senior class. McKissick off the pass from Bosco, but she puts it up too hard, and Strumpf gets the rebound. Isadora flips it to Light. Looking up court. Long pass to Tapley. Bosco fronting Thorne. They got quite a battle going down in the block.
Oh, Thorne physically probably has 30 or 40 pounds on Bosco, and that could really wear Bosco down. It's a very good strategy on Coach Nolan's part.
Look at that pass by Tapley, and it works. Thorne with the basket and the foul, getting it over Bosco. Nice play by Allison Thorne to get herself free for that play.
Take a look. It's a great back screen power. Look at that move. Bosco's upset with herself. She got beat and really should have let it go. Now she has a chance to a 3-point play.
So Allison Thorne, we talked about her coming off the bench this season, and what a fantastic job she has done. The senior from Queens, New York. August Martin High School was on that 1998 title team. Leaves the free throw short, and Baker gets the rebound. Johnston fell down there, and Baker able to corral it.
Well, you've got Bosco taking a little bit of a break, and Yansoni back in the ballgame.
Yansoni out high to get it down low, but Strumpf picks it off. Intended for Johnston, but Gail Strumpf able to take that one away for the Stags. They're up 1 and trying to add to it with 8:10 left here in the first half. 21-20. Fairfield leads Siena. Fairfield has scored the last 5 points here. Thorne in and out. All white jerseys on the boards, and Johnston corrals it. We have 2 of the better rebounding teams here as well, in addition to everything else we've been talking about. Fairfield led the league in rebounds, and Siena was 3rd. Johnston, jumper, air ball, Strumpf grabs it.
Well, you've got that big back line of Isadora, Thorne, and Strumpf, and that's a tough group to rebound against.
Light. And she's got the long-range 3. Megan Light with a big 3-point field goal. Second best 3-point shooter on Fairfield behind Tapley, and they've got their largest lead. It's 4 points for the Stags. 24-20 as you see 7:20 left here in the first half.
And really the pace has started to slow down a little bit. Both teams couldn't continue the pace they started the game with.
See Fairfield in the zone again this trip up court for Siena. Lolliger. Bounce pass, Baker, she'll try 3, and it's an air ball. Isadora on the weak side, and there go the Stags. Isadora trying to run, looking for some help. Tapley. Nice bounce pass to Allison Thorne, and she finishes it off. Everybody expecting Tapley to shoot, but she thought pass and made for a much better play.
And good timeout on Siena's part, because Fairfield's just starting to look better and better on each possession.
So Fairfield opening up a 6-point lead, 26-20. And we'll let you know about the winners of the New York Lottery MAAC Scholar Athlete of the Award this year. Obviously, it's not me. The Scholar Athlete of the Year for the women's side is Becky O'Donoghue from Niagara University, a junior with a major in communications, and I will be asking her for tips after this show. 3.65 GPA from Dobbs Ferry, New York. On the men's side, the Scholar Athlete of the Year is from Siena, and his name is Carmen Massarello. Carmen finished with a 3.58 GPA. He is from Clifton Park, New York, and a marketing major. The New York Lottery will provide new computers to their elementary schools. The award based on GPA, community participation, and good sportsmanship. The New York Lottery, supporting education since 1967, salutes Massarello and O'Donoghue for their achievements. You know, I probably could have made like a 2-something.
Well, on this
GPA.
replay, take a look at this. Tapley just threads the needle. Thorne is there and puts it up. And that's all because of what's happening on the board. Siena's taking 1 shot per possession right now. Fairfield's getting rebounds, kicking it out. Tapley's ahead of the pack, bounce pass, layup.
But it's all about, and you see the 12-2 run in the last 4:44, but it's all about making that extra pass. I mean, Tapley was not in a bad position to shoot. She had penetrated into the lane, and she had room to put the jumper up, but then she saw the defense come to her and wisely bounced past the ball over to Allison Thorne. Let's check in again with David Scott. Sir?
Coach Castelli and the Siena huddle was concentrating on making sure they move the ball around and get great ball movement. Going to go high-low, watch for the big people in the middle that bounce a block just like this to get layup opportunities that hopefully won't be blocked in Coach Castelli's eyes. Back to you guys.
The game plan was there, the design was there, the execution wasn't, as Fairfield answered with the block, but that's what they wanted to do, get it down inside, and it'll be Siena basketball when we come back. They're down 6:37 left in the first half. Here in Buffalo, the Saints trying to come back.
I know most of you just graduated high school last year, or maybe you've been working for a while, seen some things, done some things, but nothing has prepared you for what's going to happen now. We're going to set goals for each of you, way up here, and way up here, and then we're going to help you exceed them, believe it. And when finished, you're going to have not just a degree, you'll be a different person, a better person. Welcome to Iona.
Aspire, achieve. Iona. Call Iona College at 1-800-231-IONA.
I get a good look at a 5-time winner of MAAC Coach of the Year honors in Diane Nolan at Fairfield. Happy right now that her club is up 6. Disney's Wide World of Sports joining forces with the MAAC to create a unique experience for MAAC athletes. Here's a list of upcoming MAAC championships at Disney. Men's and women's golf, April 2001 and 2002. Women's soccer, November 2001. Women's volleyball, November 2002. If you'd like ticket and travel package information, visit www.macsports.com or www.anthonytravel.com. And if you want to take Cecilia and David and myself along, I believe we'd be more than happy to go with you. Kick off the inbounds, and now they'll reset the clock. You think we would make that trip? Points in the paint, a little bit of an edge to Fairfield. The blocks, a little bit of an edge to Fairfield as well. 10-6, the points in the paint favoring the Stags. Anderson trying to get it inside to McGonigal with a little hook, and she puts it up and in. So that's what Gina Castelli wanted. She wants it inside. A nice job by that time by Siena to execute for the bucket.
And McGonigal just gives them more size. They've not been able to, with Justin and Sony, control the boards. McGonigal needs to step up. It's her opportunity.
Megan McGonigal, one of the upperclassmen on this roster. We talk so much about the young players. She's a junior from Warwick, Rhode Island.
Well, she's a big girl.
Strumpf, turnaround, got it. Strumpf has 7, 28-22, Fairfield. McKissick, Anderson, and Boschko, they set up against the zone once again. Boschko now goes down low. McGonigal working in there as well. Now, David talked about ball movement. That is essential against the zone defense. You've got to keep it moving. You can't let them just stay in that area. They move it around that time, but can't get the baseline jumper to fall. And Fairfield grabs the rebound.
You talk about the zone. The zone, however, is always aware of where Gunta is. They're pointing it out as she comes through. They're handing her off to other players.
A lot of communication has to be done in his zone defense. Tapley with a nice cut to the basket and the bucket. Their first 2 points of the game. All 5 starters now have scored for Fairfield. They're getting pretty good balance right now in this game, and they have their largest lead. It is up to 8.
All 5 starters are average double figures through the season.
Boschko going to try it herself. Can't get the 3, and it goes over the top. That'll give it back over to the Stags.
Take a look at Tapley here. Gets the ball from Light. Trump, nice screen. Just explodes, splits the defense, and lays it up. Basco was a little late coming over.
I don't know. You know what? Who knows how this game will turn out? But if history is anything, it's good to be the number 2 seed. You know, the number 1 and number 2 have met 7 times in the final in the history of the MAAC tournament, but number 2 has won 6 of them. For some reason, pass to Strump down low, and Thorne was in position to get it, but not in position to shoot it. She's able to save it, but here go the Saints the other way. 2-on-1. Baker tried to get it to Scramulo, the trailer, but is fouled by Megan Light.
That wasn't a bad foul on Megan's part because Baker was going to finish with it too. Howard, you mentioned the number 2 seed, but take a look at this play. Nice steal. Baker explodes. Megan Light just comes in, gets her arms so that she makes sure she can't release the basketball. Talking about that 2 seed, Howard, 18 times in tournament play, these teams have come together. 11 of those times, the number 2 seed has won the championship. The number 1 seed has just been able to pull off a championship 4 times in 18 years. I guess you want to come in as a number 1.
That's kind of strange when you think about the history of this tournament. We've talked a lot about on the women's side in the MAAC traditionally. The seeds will hold form in this tournament. You don't see a lot of upsets. You see the top 4 advance into the Final Four a lot, but then how do you figure the top seed rarely wins the tournament? That miss by Ayanna Brown is corralled by Erica Anderson. Maybe because 1 and 2 aren't separated so far in this league, usually, and that's certainly the case right now. Bosco's 3 is short, and the rebound taken by Isadora. I mean, remember, as much as we've talked about Siena and how, 17-1, nobody ever won 17 games in the MAAC before since they went to the 18-game schedule. Well, Fairfield won 16. Isadora down low, gets behind the defense, and a wide-open gap for that pass. Isadora gets the bucket, and Siena wants to talk things over. The Stags have stretched it to a 10-point lead at 32-22.
You take a look here. Tapley is a good 17 or 18 feet from the basket. You see Isadora set up her defender. Go back to a finish off. Nice ball movement on Fairfield's part, but really what's happening away from the ball, the movement away from the ball has been outstanding on Fairfield's part.
Now there's no support on the weak side, but that's because those players had drawn their defenders out towards the foul line, so that whole baseline was wide open.
And they're making Siena to really overextend, and when you overextend, players who are quick, like an Isadora or Ayanna Brown, just go to the basket. And Tapley, although she's been, all of the accolades have come because of her shooting range, she's a good passer.
Well, Gina Castelli with a worried look on her face, down 10. I mean, they haven't been behind very much since non-conference play ended. Baker with the running one-hander on the baseline answers back, and the senior has 8 points. The lead is 8. Or in this case, the deficit is 8 from the Siena perspective. A little bit of a trap there. They're able to break it, get into the front court. Thorne back to Isadora. Sees some daylight, pulls up, and cans the jumper.
If Siena is going to pick up full court, then it has to rush back down to the paint to get back in a position to offer some help. They can't stay extended because Fairfield's too good at driving to the basket.
A long pass, a little too long for Shireen Isadora. Goes out of bounds. It'll be Siena basketball when we come back. 3:13 remaining in the first half. Fairfield 34, Siena 24. Stags leading in the MAAC championship game. Siena facing adversity, down 10, late first half in the MAAC championship game. Fans, the 2001 Easton MAAC Hockey League Championship will hit the ice March 15th through the 17th at University of Connecticut Ice Arena in Storrs, Connecticut. All session passes affordably priced at $12. If you'd like information, call toll-free 1-877-AT-UCONN at UConn. Let's check in once again with David Scott. David.
I'm not sure what any of this means, but we know that Gail Strumpf changes her nail polish color with each game. Today's color seems to be a glittery, sparkly gold, and that's my fashion comment for the game. And Cecilia, I don't know if you have that color, but it's lovely.
I may have to borrow it from her, Dave, at the half.
Glittery gold.
Right now.
For Siena, because Siena's green and gold.
I guess. Sure. Right now. You take a look at these percentages.
Look at the rebounding, too.
It's all Fairfield.
And they get it inside. A basket by Gunta Vasko and the foul. Those numbers have to change. I mean, you could sometimes overcome the shooting problems, but you got to at least rebound. If you rebound and play defense, you'll be okay, but they're not doing either.
And Gunta has been the one bright spot. She just continues to power it up inside, taking Gail Strumpf and just challenging Thorne and going up and picking up the foul. Gunta is the one player that can work inside effectively. Yansoni has to become more of a presence inside because at this time, Howard, with just about under 3 minutes, Fairfield could begin to extend this lead. Siena has to play better basketball and go into halftime with a 5-point deficit, not a 10 or 15-point deficit.
Fairfield was on a 20-6 run before the 3-point play by Vasko. She's got 10. Yeah, it's a critical 2.5 minutes here. If you're Siena, and it's your Fairfield as well in terms of what happens in these next few moments. Fairfield responds there.
And sure enough, you talk about rebounding, you can't give them second shots.
Baker inside. Yansoni. Strumpf went down, and she took down Tapley too. Or Megan Light, excuse me. Light went down. She's a little slow getting up. And Diane Nolan calls for a 30-second timeout to make sure everybody's okay. Talk a little strategy as it's a 7-point game.
Yeah, the last 2 possessions, Siena's going back inside. Something that they did effectively in the first 10 minutes of the game and for some reason got away from it in the last 6 or 7 minutes. Now we talk about just a 7-point lead. 2-minute stretch in a game, critical as to what goes on at halftime. If all goes well for one team, they talk about the positive stuff when they get in there. You don't want to be hammering on what you haven't done well. So Siena now in this stretch can really do some positive stuff so that Coach Castelli really figures all about the positive stuff.
We'll take a look at the Chase MAAC Women's Rookies of the Week summary. Ayanna Brown for Fairfield, winning it a few times. This is why Leanna Yansoni basically won the award. When you win it 5 consecutive weeks, there's a good chance you'll win Rookie of the Year honors, and she did. The Chase MAAC Rookie of the Week brought to you by the Chase Manhattan Bank. The right relationship is everything. 36-29, Fairfield leading Siena as we approach 2 minutes left in the first half. Ball knocked out of bounds. It'll stay Fairfield possession. It'll be Holly Tapley coming over to put it in play. Tapley, the senior from Maine, first team All-MAC this season, following a second-team All-MAC honor last season. Amy Herford, look at the shooting percentages. Fairfield getting better. 52% have improved in every game in terms of shooting. That'll help it there, too. Isadore's having a tremendous first half. We've got her for 12, and it's 38-29 Fairfield. As much as we talk about Strumpf and Brown and Light, Isadore's haven't got 12 points.
Well, 5 people double figures all season long. There's a reason for it. It's happening now. It's Isadore's team. It's Isadore's turn tonight to show what she's got.
Anderson into Boschko, around Thorne, off the glass and iron, and no good. And then Boschko tips it out of bounds. Now Gunta Vasko again putting herself in position, but could not finish off the bucket. And Fairfield will have a chance to get it back into double digits. Isadora, a very talented player herself, even though we haven't talked about her that much. But as Cecilia mentioned, she was the Rookie of the Year last season, just a sophomore from Roselle, New Jersey. And she's on her way to all tournament honors, having had 20 points in the first 2 games and 12 so far here. On the drive, Amy Herford can't get it to fall. Herford tries to fight for the rebound. Anderson has it out of the pack for the Saints. Middle she goes, bounce pass right side, Spanulo. Baseline, and a whistle and a charging call on Spanulo. Nice defense by the Saints, and Spanulo may be hurt.
Yeah,
she looks like she hit the floor pretty hard. Yes, she is indeed, as you see, holding the back of her neck. She hit the floor very hard, and out will come the trainer for Siena and Gina Castelli, the head coach.
Yeah, it was a hard one, and you take a look, and you'll see Allison Thorne just steps in, and she just comes down hard and bangs her head as she comes down off of that. And they're going to be very careful about how quickly they move her right now, Howard, because anytime there's an injury to a player with the neck, you take no chances.
Boy, Allison Thorne, you do the dirty work when you try and step in and draw those chargers. It's not a fun part of playing defense, but she's able to get down there and cut off the lane on the drive by Spermulo, and hopefully she is okay. The senior has gone through so much pain in terms of injuries in her career at Siena, and you see the brace on her left knee, a torn ACL that cost her a season, 3 other surgeries as well, and she has gone through all of that to keep playing for the Saints.
And look at Allison Thorne. Wow. Allison Thorne took it hard as well. She landed on her backside, but whether Allison Thorne hits Spermulo or Spermulo hits Allison Thorne's not going to feel it quite as much. You got a big size difference and a great amount of weight and strength.
You see they're still attending to Spermulo, senior from Bridgeport, Connecticut, a tri-captain for this Siena team and one of the leaders for this team, and Gina Castelli. And hopefully she'll be okay to stay in this contest. In the meantime, Castelli trying to talk to her troops with 53 seconds left in the first half. They're down 9. They've been down 10. And I'm sure Gina would like to see her team make a mini run to get it a little bit closer. Nice round of applause here from the fans.
You don't want to see a senior hobbling off in pain in the most important game of her career thus far. So let's hope that she can get it together, that she regroups at halftime and can come back and help, because last night, boy, she was a spark plug against St. Peter's.
A number of the Siena fans here have stayed after watching the men's team play earlier today, have stayed tonight to watch the women's team in their attempts to go for the championship. You saw the time remaining. Fairfield, be very careful, you would think, on this possession, try to get the lead into double digits. Isidora's had the hot hand, but she can't get that one to go in. Baker grabs the rebound. They cannot hold for one. About a 6-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Lolliger.
They need a good score here.
In the corner, bounce pass, Jansoni. Inside she goes. That's worked in this first half, and she's able to get in there for 2.
And if they hold them here, Howard, it's a 7-point game at the half. It's anybody's ball game.
And Siena gets the bucket there to make it, as Cecilia mentioned, 7 points. Now Fairfield will, of course, hold for 1. Light, that one will be a 3, and she can't get it to fall. Still 6 seconds left. Bashko grabs the rebound. They need to hurry up court. 3 seconds. Bashko to Lolliger. She saves it, but they run out of time.
Now Bashko saw it, let it a little early, because, boy, she had the numbers there. It was 3-on-1 going down. Could have resulted in 2.
38-31, Fairfield will take a 7-point lead into the halftime break. We're back here in Buffalo with more in a moment. You're watching the Women's Championship game on the MAAC Television Network.
Manhattan College, with 5 schools of arts, business, education, engineering, and science. Minutes from the cultural center and global marketplace that is New York City. Founded in the Lasallian tradition of excellence in teaching, respect for human dignity, and commitment for social justice. Manhattan College.
Welcome back to HSBC Arena in Buffalo, New York, in the championship of the MAAC Women's Tournament. Fairfield with a 38-31 lead over the Siena Saints at halftime. Howard Simon, Cecilia DeMarco, and David Scott here waiting to see who will cut down the nets as the champion of the MAAC in 2001. And Fairfield with a very effective first half, balanced scoring. I mean, you focus so much on Strumpf and then Isadora steps in. I think Diane Nolan must be very happy the way that her team functioned offensively in the first half.
Well, Diane Nolan's happy about what they're doing on the boards, Howard. Right now, they have a 21-12 edge, and they're getting second and third shots, where Siena has just come out with 3 offensive rebounds in the entire game. This is a very good rebounding team that just isn't getting it done right now. So if Siena is going to be successful, they have to find a way to get second shots, because they're not shooting well. They're only 38% from the floor to Fairfield's 60. So, boy, they've got to do something about a second shot.
Well, the score here, 38-31. Let's take a look at some of the other scores we've seen so far in tournament play. And this is what happened in the play-in games. That's where it all started. Canisius beating Marist and Ryder taking down Iona. Then in the quarterfinals, Fairfield taking the Bronx out, while Loyola eliminated Niagara. In the other quarterfinal matchups, St. Peter's rallying to beat Manhattan, and Siena moving on over Canisius. In the semis, Fairfield with a 12-point victory over Loyola and a 10-point win for the Saints over St. Peter's, and that gets us to the championship game. And this is how the brackets were put together before we got here to Buffalo. And as you see, everything went as expected. 1, 2, 3, and 4 advancing, 1 and 2 in the final. And, well, right now, it's going the way it usually does in the MAAC women's final. Number 2 has fared very well against number 1. That's the women's side. The men's final is set. It'll be tomorrow night at 7 o'clock here in Buffalo. Canisius with the upset over Siena. So the Griffs, having beaten the number 2 seed Niagara and the 3 seed Siena, will take on the top seed Iona. The Griffs have have won one MAAC final, but not here in Buffalo. They're 0-1 here on their quote-unquote home court. Iona trying to win another title and repeat for the first time since those great LaSalle teams with Lionel Simmons. It is the women's title game here, and Fairfield trying to win their second in 4 years. Back with more in a moment.
This game is brought to you in part by the New York Lottery. New York Lotto, will you be ready if it happens to you? By Continental Airlines, work hard, fly right. Citizens Communications, the official telecommunications company of the MAAC. Budget, get out of the ordinary with Budget. And by Chase Manhattan Bank, the right relationship is everything.
It hasn't happened very often in MAAC play this season, but Siena playing from behind, down 7 to the Fairfield Stags in the title game at halftime. Welcome back to Buffalo. We're going to check in with David Scott, who has some very special guests. David?
2 big fans of the MAAC here, Linda Steinmetz to my right and Garrett Reuter to my left. Linda, the Special Olympics is involved with the MAAC and has been for a long time. Tell me why it's important and what kind of a relationship you have with the MAAC.
Well, the MAAC enables our athletes to come out and enjoy the sporting events. They also let our athletes come to like the basketball tournaments and the volleyball tournaments at the schools. And at halftimes, a lot of times our Special Olympic athletes will come out and play a game in front of everybody and let the people know what Special Olympics is all about.
It's very important to get out there in the community, and it's important to have a good jump shot. My man here, Garrett, has been known to loft a few. Tell me what sports you participate in, Garrett.
Basically, I participate in basketball, soccer, and volleyball, and baseball, and bowling. But my favorite sport out of all of them, I like basketball and bowling, basically. So those are my favorites at the moment.
Not only is Garrett a pretty good athlete, he's also a global messenger. Tell us a little bit about what it means to be a global messenger and what that entails for you.
A global messenger basically has the job of telling to spread the word about how they can join Special Olympics and become to help our area and get the word out, like to people, whether they're business people, teachers, co-workers, family members, and hopefully someday we can get a lot more volunteers, a lot more coaches, and then maybe somewhere down the road we can get a lot more of those proceeds to go towards us to go back on our road trips and maybe hopefully win another shot at getting the gold medal back to Rochester and getting it brought back to us. So hopefully this year in 2001, maybe 2002 again, we'll try our best to get another medal back. So
that'd be great. Garrett actually spoke at the MAAC banquet, Howard. I know you were there. What a great job he did. He had us rolling in the aisles with his jokes. We're going to go back to Howard now and get ready for the second half. Thank you very much.
All right, David, thank you. We did. Garrett and I were comparing musical tastes the other night at the dinner, and he did do a great job at the banquet. Back with second half action in a moment.
If you're looking to get more from your education than just a diploma, take a look at Canisius College. Rated one of the best in U.S. News and World Report, Canisius offers cutting-edge academic programs and a faculty that is second to none. But the best part of a Canisius education is what you'll take with you, the knowledge and skills you'll need to be a leader in your profession and community. To find out more about Canisius College, call 1-800-843-1517 or visit us on the web at canisius.edu. Canisius College, where leaders are made.
Fairfield had as much as a 10-point lead in that first half. It is 7 at the break, 38-31 as they lead the Siena Saints. Howard Simon, Cecilia DeMarco, and David Scott at the Women's Championship game here in Buffalo at HSBC Arena. Let's take a look at some of the first half highlights. We're going to start with a highlight for the Siena Saints.
Well, it all starts with defense, and you see Gunta Basco with a great block here on Allison Thorne. Gets the basketball, a couple of dribbles, just throws a great pass into Baker, who finds Formula to finish it off. You'll see here, again inside, the ball's going inside a lot for Fairfield tonight. Trump has had a great first half. She thanks the player for the pass. Holly Tapley just threads the needle into Allison Thorne. Everything on the inside for Fairfield. Baker makes a nice move to the basket here. Siena needs to do more of that today.
Well, those are the highlights. Now let's take a look at some of the stats. Fairfield shooting 48%, Siena 43%. You see the free throws. Siena not a good three-point shooting team, and it played out in the first half. They were 1 of 8. The rebounds is the big advantage. Look at those numbers, 23 to 15, and 8 of them on the offensive boards. That's a big reason why Fairfield has a 7-point lead. Second half action coming up when we return to Buffalo for the MAAC women's title game on the MAAC Television Network.
And keeping the ball from Gunta. And I think that's one of their major game plans, obviously. Back to you.
When Gunta has taken shots, she's really had to work for it. Cecilia Basco, 3 of 9 shooting in the first half. They did a fairly good job against her, although she had foul trouble in one of the 2 games in the regular season. But they did a good job of keeping her in check, not letting her run wild like she has in a lot of games in the MAAC this season.
Well, when Gunta's playing, she's faced Allison Thorne a number of times. And Allison Thorne is a wide body that is just leaning on her, and she's going to wear her down as the game goes on, so her shooting is going to be effective again.
That first possession is what Gina Castelli wanted in the first half. Move the ball around and get it inside to complete it, and that's what they did perfectly on that possession. Off the miss, better rebounding. So in the first minute, things have gone well for Siena. They're down 5 here. Erica Anderson, the point guard. That's Mary McKissick now on the wing. Elena Yamshine underneath, inside again, so they're definitely jamming it in on the first 2 possessions, and it's paid off.
Well, we talked in the first half that Yansoni only touched the ball 6 times. First 2 possessions down the court, she's touched the ball. Those are big numbers for her right now.
On Sharina Zadora's drive, a foul called on Siena. Let's take a look at the scoring leaders from that first half of action. There's some pretty good balance actually for both teams. Sharina Zadora, the sophomore, having a tremendous first half, 12 points, 4 rebounds. She had 3 assists as well. Gail Strumpf with 9 points, 5 boards. Megan Light had 7. The point guard, Basco with 10, Jansone with 8, and Baker with 6 for Siena. Baker, in addition to her 6 points, 6 assists for the shooting guard. You don't normally see that. Traveling on that play, and Siena gets it back. And we talked a lot about the inside game, and there's no doubt what Siena's trying to do.
Well, that's what they talked about at halftime. It was obvious they didn't like that they were relying on the perimeter too often.
They get it in again, but they kick it out. Baker, Anderson, and today doubled. Baseline jumper, no good. Basco goes over the top of Holly Tapley and draws the foul.
Someone else besides Basco in the end have to get to the boards, whether it's Baker or McKissick. Someone has to offer them some help.
Second foul on Basco. You saw Holly Tapley, the senior for the Stags. Megan Light, Holly Tapley, Sharina Zadora, Gail Strumpf, and Allison Thorne, the starters in the second half. Thorne starting instead of Ayanna Brown. Megan Light can't hit the jumper. And I'm pretty much guessing that Diane Nolan not happy that Ayanna Brown really not involved in the game in the first half. Only had 2 points. Very quiet half for Ayanna Brown. Jansone with the rebound, the putback, and the foul with a chance to tie the game.
Well, Siena's just made a statement. They're not going to go away. They're going to get the ball inside. Again, Baker puts the ball up. Yansoni comes from nowhere, grabs it, powers up against Trump, and finishes it off. This is the 6th point she's had, Howard, since the start of the half. This will be her 7th. It's a great start for her, a great start of the half for Siena.
Well, so much for the 38-31 lead. It's gone in a little over 2 minutes, and this game is tied at 38. Siena has come to life. We'll see how Fairfield responds. Megan Light, the point guard, under pressure. Thorne pulls up over Basco, can't get it to fall. Look at the follow, and she draws the foul. Isadora came in from the perimeter, saw the opening, and put up the rebound, and she's headed to the free throw line.
And does she have ups or does she have ups? Boy, she was 6 feet off the air.
Well, no block out from Erica Anderson. She allowed Isadora to go past her, and the upshot of all of that is foul number 3 on Gunta Basco. Now you're 2 minutes and 21 seconds into the half, and Basco has 3 fouls. You got to figure she's going to be coming out soon, as that free throw barely touches rim by Isadora, and there goes Gunta Basco to the bench. So that's a key point, because Siena came out with a spurt. They had the momentum, 7 straight points, and the player of the year has got to go sit down on the bench with 3 fouls.
Well, she has to protect her for the last 10 minutes, Howard. She has to make certain that Gunta Basco finishes the game on the court.
Isadora didn't look good on either free throw, but nobody blocks out Strumpf. She can't get the putback. Now there's another area where you're going to miss Gunter Bosco on the boards, and you talk about other players stepping up. Now they have no choice. Jolene Johnston checked in with Bosco going to the bench. Knotted at 38. Erica Anderson, Sasha Baker. On the baseline, there's a jumper for Johnston, so she comes in and contributes right away offensively.
And Johnston has given up probably 7 inches to the post players that she's going to defend. Take a look at her next to Thorne, and she comes up to Thorne's shoulder.
I believe that's Siena's first lead since they had a 4-point lead at 20-16. And then Fairfield started their run, but now Siena is up 2. A foul on that possession. It is a non-shooting foul, so it'll be Fairfield ball underneath the basket. McKissick gets called for the foul. And that is the first foul, or no, the third foul. Did I miss that? Let me check. I'll check that. I thought they said third foul on McKissick. Isadora off the inbound. Foul line, pulls up, pass underneath for Thorne again. An extra pass instead of the jumper, and it opens up a layup underneath.
And Isadora is just playing the best basketball she's played all season long.
It is 3 fouls on McKissick, so that's something to keep an eye on as well. They tried to get it in the Yancey inside. Isadora knocks it free. They tie the ball up, and the arrow will favor Siena. McKissick has been quiet in the first half, just 2 points. 2 shots, rather. It was a 3, 1 of 2, and it looked like Gina Castelli was telling her right before they started the second half, you got to want the ball.
Well,
you got to get involved in the offense.
She's been so big in the last 2 ball games that they need her to continue that.
Anderson, Jansen left of the lane, and she's got it. Nice little interference by Jolene Johnston, who I think had kept Thorne really behind her and gave Jansen the little opening there to take the jumper.
Well, Jansoni's just come up big while Gunter's been on the bench.
Foul off the ball as Johnston and Thorne fight for position, and Thorne hits the floor hard. Johnston gets called for the elbow.
Nice little triangle play here. Take a look. They set her up a triangle. Look at this pass. Isadora finds Thorne underneath to lay it up. And as you said, Howard, they're not taking the shot, the first open shot they see. They want to go into the paint.
Strumpf with a wild scoop shot. Rebound comes out of the pack with it is Holly Tapley, the shooting guard. And Tapley could not find her shot in the first half. She was just 1 of 6. Isadora through the middle, and steps called on Shireen Isadora. That'll turn the ball back over to the Siena Saints, and that'll take us to a break. 15:59 left in the second half. Siena 42, Fairfield 40 for a bid to the NCAA tournament. You're watching the MAAC Television Network. Gunter Bosco reduced to cheerleader right now. 12 points, but 3 personal fouls. That's why she's on the bench for Siena. Let's take a look at the Chase MAAC Women's Players of the Week summary. And we see some of the players. Bosco and Anderson from Siena. A couple of Fairfield honors, and Strumpf and Light in the early portion of the schedule. The second half of the MAAC schedule. And Strumpf would figure in it again, and she would earn the honor again in January. You see Bosco and Strumpf and Tapley again. The Chase MAAC Women's Players of the Week summary. Hey, Fairfield with just 1 field goal in the last 5 minutes and 51 seconds, going back to the trail portion of the first half. It is Siena that has played with the spark in the second half. Tapley with the block on Anderson. Nice defense for Fairfield. They'll try and convert on the other end. Tapley open for 3. Can't get it. She has not been able to hit the 3 in this tournament. Not the way she did in the regular season. Rebound and a foul, and Gail Strumpf doing the work on the boards, and this underscores the problem with Bosco on the bench. You're relying on Jansone to do the work on the boards all by herself, and Siena got badly beat in the rebounding in the first half with Bosco.
You take a look too now, and because the Saints have to go so aggressively to the boards and are a little bit out of position, they found themselves in a position where they have 6 fouls at this point, Howard. That means that with the Stags just having 1, so Fairfield's going to the foul line. They're a 70-plus shooting team, so that doesn't bode well for the last 10 minutes of play.
Well, Chrissy Lawler checks in for Siena because now Eric Anderson's in foul trouble. She checks out with 3, and that's the starting point guard. You see the numbers on Strumpf. She averages a double-double. Got that one to fall.
Siena being up by 1 right now is pretty remarkable with who they have on the court and who is sitting on the bench and watching the game.
Well, you've got your player of the year and your starting point guard. on the bench right now, so a critical time for the Saints. Baker, Baker with a big jump shot. And the senior has 8.
And credit Yansoni and Baker for coming up big in this stretch.
Megan Light, point guard for Fairfield. Look at that now. 6 minutes and 50 seconds now with just 1 field goal. Isadora, she's got it. Isadora has been the most consistent scorer in this game. 14 for her. And it's 44-43 Siena. We expected a game that was going to be close and perhaps down to the wire. Looks like we're headed there right now. McKissick left of the lane, fouled before the shot on the drive. So it'll be a possession, not a shooting situation for the Stags off that foul. McKissick, we talked about, they wanted to get her more involved, and she certainly showed some energy there.
And as she goes to the basket, Howard, that's the McKissick that we've seen in the last couple of days, the player that goes and slashes to the hoop. Siena needs her to do that more often.
She opened this tournament with a solid game against Canisius and has 28 points in the 2 games before tonight. Not bad when you consider she averaged 5 points a game in the regular season. She's averaging 14 in the tournament, but had a very quiet first half with just 1 3-point field goal. Foul on Tapley was her second. 16 fouls on Siena, just 2 team fouls on Fairfield. McKissick working against Mary Beth Chartier in for the first time tonight. And the foul underneath as we get it into Yansoni, and she drew the foul on Gail Strum.
And
that's been the recipe for success in the second half.
And they're going to what brought them here, getting the ball inside. Yansoni's just going right at Gail Strum as if to say, hey, I don't know who you are, but I'm going up after it. And she's coming up big. She's a good foul shooter, so you put her to the line, she'll come up for you.
That's not the way to show respect to a senior and former player of the year.
Oh, no, she's a rookie of the year now. Come on.
She doesn't care, right? Look at the numbers. Yansoni, also from Latvia, like Tabashko, has put up as she gets both free throws. 16 points for her. That was the 3rd foul on Strumpf, by the way. So that's something to keep an eye on.
And you see Ayana Brown on the sidelines waiting to come in.
Chartier to Isadora. 3-point Saints lead. Stags basketball. Strumpf trying to post up. Strumpf will try the jumper and leave it long. Baker grabs the board. Nice block out.
And Strumpf, again, she's got Johnson on her. Can't get forced into taking fall-away jump shots. Has to power it up and go to the basket.
She wasn't able to do it between Johnson and a little bit of a double team. She could not move much closer to the basket than she was. Baker can't get it to fall. The save, and McKissick calls time. What a great play by McKissick. The save on the baseline, I believe, by Johnston, and then McKissick, knowing there's no way she can stay in bounds, calls timeout in midair.
Well, you know, you take a look and you see what it starts with. It starts with some great effort on Johnston's part. You see it turns and just heaves it out, and McKissick is in the air, gives the T signal, looks right at the, even though knows where the official is, she knows where to look for him and ask for it.
Great court awareness for the sophomore from Detroit, Mary McKissick. As you see Gina Castelli in the huddle. She is from Buffalo. Her family is here behind the bench watching the game, and her parents are here and her sisters are here, and they're hoping to see Gina get her first MAAC championship. Hey, you can find out more about the MAAC and its basketball and every other sport by going online and checking out the conference's website. It's at www.maacsports.com. It's updated regularly, provides current information about your favorite MAAC teams and players. That's maacsports.com. Saints basketball, 12 on the shot clock. As they inbounds to Baker. Johnston all the way to the hoop. The runner blocked by Ayana Brown, who's in for Strumpf with the foul trouble. And here comes Light the other way. 3 on 2 if they hurry. Light down the middle. Dish to Chartier, and she's got it. Again, it's a 1-point game. So both teams playing without their best player because of foul trouble right now. Drive by Baker, and she can't finish it. Out of the pack comes Light. Fairfield pushing the tempo now. Light down low for Brown, up and in.
And Brown adds a new dimension because Brown will run the lanes for a big girl. Yansoni has to get down there or Brown will end up with a whole lot of baskets the way that we just saw.
Well, if they can get Brown going, that would be huge for Fairfield because she was very quiet in the first half. Brown's had 33 points in the first 2 games to get Fairfield to the finals. Lolliger and Chartier trading a push-off and a block, and they'll call a blocking foul.
And quick, you see it here. Look at this lane. They're coming, they're coming. You find them, and Ayana Brown, the trail, steps into the block, and Megan Light finds her.
Just the 4th team foul on Fairfield. Oliger, first on Chartier, by the way. Johnstown can't get the baseline jumper, but McKissick with the offensive board. They didn't do much of that in the first half. Walliger with the drive and draws the foul. A lot of contact in the lane as Chartier was there, and Brown as well.
And just like that, Howard, we were in a situation where the Saints had 6 fouls, the Stags had 1. Now it's a 6-5. Siena going to the basket, doing with people that don't get all that many minutes. But McKissick has been big. She has started to show signs of the player that we'd seen at the start of the tournament.
Missy Lolliger, the junior from Springfield, PA, misses the first free throw. She'll get another chance, just a 57% foul shooter. Appeared in every game for the Saints this season off the bench. She'll make 1 out of 2. Knotted at 47 with 12:40 to go. This is just the way the MAAC championship game should be. Light. Isadora. Just inside the foul line. Can't get the bounce. And Siena with the rebound. Baker. One-on-one on Light. And big contact. A charging foul. And looked like a good call. Looked like she used that elbow to push off a little bit when she was trying the one-on-one move against Light.
Well, you see it, Howard. She comes down and she gets her shoulder and she leads with her shoulder. And Megan Light has positions, going back defensively, is moving, but is moving in a direction that a defender can move.
Boy, Megan Light took a big hit. She goes to the bench. I tell you what, that's a check that would have made the Sabres proud. She's throwing her body around there. She can play defense for the Sabres.
That's a big stop.
Now look at this steal by McKissick.
It's the new improved McKissick at the half.
Well, Chartier, by the way, excuse me, who sat down. Lights on the court. McKissick with the big steal. Yeah, she's playing a different game. Johnston can't get it to go. Look at Yancey among 2 Stags. The ball's batted around. It is Isadora out of the pack, but then she's tied up. Error will favor Fairfield, but hard work for both teams down there as they try and get that basketball. Look at this. You think Isadora's got it? And in comes Johnston and gets all ball to tie it up. You lose it on the arrow, but now the arrow will favor you on the next time.
Hey, how to stay with the play, though. Nobody gave up on it. 2 people going to board strong. Did they get the message at half about what they needed to do in rebounding?
Yeah, Siena's definitely playing with a little more fire in this half than they did in the first half. And they clear out the boards there. 1 and done. Johnston, Lolliger, Baker in the front court, waits for help this time. I think she tried to do a little too much by herself on the last try and took the foul, the charging foul. McKissick, Jansen did a nice job of holding up Brown, who fouls her. She did such a nice job of shielding the basketball, kind of holding off Brown with one arm while trying to maneuver to the basket, and now drew the foul.
Yansoni has great hands. When you can throw a pass to her that isn't on the money, and she finds a way to gather it in. She's like a center fielder. She just takes her glove, pulls it into her chest, and then makes good on it.
Jansen will get 1 more free throw. Got her for 18 points right now. She averaged 13 this season, made the all-rookie team. 3rd team All-MAAC, by the way, and that's an amazing accomplishment because you don't normally see a freshman make any of the All-MAAC teams. She was the only one to do it this season. She gives Siena a 2-point lead, 49-47, 11:29 to go in the second half. This is the MAAC Television Network.
450 years of Jesuit tradition are woven into a Fairfield University education, an education characterized by academic excellence and service to the community. This success is fostered by a caring faculty that knows their students as individuals. Located just an hour from New York City, Fairfield combines a park-like campus conducive to learning with the city's cultural and career advantages. Fairfield University, where education reflects the challenges and opportunities of a changing world.
The Fairfield Stags, 25 wins, huddling around Diane Nolan. The Siena Saints, 23 wins, coming back out on the floor after hearing from Gina Castelli. Let's talk about some 3-point shooting this season. We'll take a look at the Citizens Communications long-distance shooter update. Holly Tapley from Fairfield, the best 3-point shooter in the league this season. As you see the top 5, Citizens Communications, the official telecommunications company of the MAAC. Once again, the proud sponsor of the MAAC long-distance shooter of the year. David Scott, sir, what have you got?
Very interesting in the Fairfield huddle. Coach Nolan obviously wants to get it inside, but reinforced that Holly Tapley is going to get those shots inside, and she's going to make them more often than she missed that layup. So they want to try and do that. The interesting thing about their huddle, they really plan ahead. They've got 3 plays already planned: offense, defense, offense. I wonder sometimes if that might confuse the players too much. What do you think, Coach?
I'll tell you what, with a seasoned team, Diane Nolan can do that. These kids know these plays. They've been running them for the last 4 seasons. She has her seniors out there. The only person that might get a little confused with this is Ayanna Brown, because this is all new to her. So I don't think that the 3D3 offense is going to throw them off very much.
Points off turnovers. Look at Siena's done 14 and 19 in the first 2 games. Just 9 here tonight. Baker, Yansoni, and the foul. I'm telling you, if Siena wins this game, it's because of the freshman from Latvia here in the second half.
Well, she has done yeoman's work on the boards and on both ends. You take a look at this pass, Baker. Everybody's looking inside. Look at this position that she has. Great drop step move. Uses the glass again for an opportunity for another 3-point play in this half.
Well, now the foul's on Ayanna Brown. She goes out with 4. Strumpf has to come in with 3 because nobody can stop Yansoni except a missed free throw. She's still got 21 though.
And Howard, the best player in the MAAC conference has been sitting on the bench for almost 4 minutes with 3 fouls. That speaks volumes for Siena's team.
And they've added 2 points to their lead. Forget that stat. It was a 2-point Siena lead when Boschko went to the bench. Thorne makes it a 2-point Siena lead.
And look at about the 10-minute mark for Boschko to come back into the ballgame.
Yeah, she went out about 7 minutes ago, 6-7 minutes ago.
She went out just under 16.
15:59 was I think maybe around that dead ball.
So she's right around the dead ball. She's gone in. She's been able to sit for 6, and this is the most amount of minutes that she's had for rest time in the whole tournament.
Well, she played 18 minutes in the first half. Johnston with that last basket. The drive-by light. Isadora has it. Nice fake. Isadora's got the basket.
Isadora is having the game of her life tonight.
16 points. And she's just a sophomore. The skip pass. Baker, plenty of time to set for 3. Leaves it short. Light fouled by Anderson. And that'll be the 4th foul on the point guard for Siena. So both teams dealing with some foul problems right now.
Take a look at Isadora. Light finds her on the weak side. I'm not sure if it was a pass or a deflection. And Isadora again, nice fake going to the right, bringing herself back and taking that jump shot. She's got great elevation when she stops and goes up.
So Chrissy Loliger comes in, as you see, to spell Erica Anderson, who sits down with the 4 personal fouls. Anderson shut out, has no points today. She averages 10 a game.
Well, she's faced a number of different players defensively. Tapley's picked her up, and so hasn't Light.
Bodies all over the place diving for that basketball. Can you tell they're playing for a trophy and a bid?
Well, they're all going after it. Yansoni took a nice hit to the head on that one.
She seems to be just checking her right eye and her forehead a little bit as she waits to put the ball in play. Here comes Boschko checking in for Johnston. So she went out with the Saints up 2 and comes back about 7 minutes or so later, and the Saints are up 2.
And now we've got the best player in the league rested. Could be frightening.
Yep. No, that was a very critical stretch for Siena, and they pretty much held their own. Facing his own, McKissick, Baker. To the baseline, pulls up, got it. Sasha Baker has 10, and it's back to a 4-point game. It had been seesawing from 4 to 2 the last few minutes here. Fairfield had a 10-point lead. Late first half, 34-24, 7 at the break. Fouled on the shot is Holly Tapley. She'll have a couple of free throws coming up.
And Tapley's a very good foul shooter, and it may be where she gets her confidence back at the line because she has not shot well this game, and Fairfield needs her to step up during this stretch.
4th foul on Mary McKissick. Here's the play by Sasha Baker. As she's able to get to the baseline and get that jumper off over to Fairfield Staggs.
And it was almost as if she went to Isadora and said, hey, look, you have ups, watch me.
I'd like to see that competition. They both can shoot the ball and jump pretty well. Tapley missed the first one, gets the second one. Just her 3rd point of the game, too. 55-52 Siena, 9:05 remaining. And Audra Spinullo can report, as you see, is now back out on the court after that terrific fall in the first half where she suffered a minor neck sprain, is what they call it. She's back out there, and obviously we're glad to see her back out. Rebound and a foul, and Sony doing the work on the boards, and she's headed to the free throw line.
Message loud and clear, heard by the Siena team. Get to the glass. Take a look. Baker takes an off-balance shot. Yansoni comes in from nowhere. Again, credit Boschko for keeping that ball alive. Yansoni's going to the foul line.
So Strumpf picks up her 4th. You know what? There are some players that have some serious problems right now with the fouls. Strump's got 4. Brown's on the bench with 4 for Fairfield. For Siena, McKissick has 4, and she's on the bench. Anderson's on the bench with 4. Basco's playing at 3. The freshman is carrying the Siena Saints on her back. 23 points. It is not her career high. She had 28 this season. Chartier, 5-point lead for the Saints. That's their largest in the game. Oh, look at that shot. I was going to say that's a wild shot, but hey, when you get it off glass, you can take it, I guess.
I'll tell you what, that fell where she needed it to.
Lager for 3.
And that's the first 3-point shot that the Siena Saints have made against the zone tonight, and they've got themselves a 6-point lead.
Well, they are not a good 3-point shooting team, but they got that one there, 60-54. 8:14 and counting left, second half. Tapley trying to get it inside to Thorne. Ansoni is behind her in the paint. Chartier, Isadora, a little opening. She can't get that one to fall. Basco climbs up for the boards. Here comes Spumillo to Baker. Wisely waits for teammates. Gets it back to the point guard. Now Spumillo looking in that zone. Nice ball movement. Baker on the wing. Inside for Basco. Reach in foul.
And she's getting to the foul line because anytime, the rule this year tells you that anytime you put 2 hands on a player's back when she's moving, you're going to get the call. So it's not about how much contact, it's about that kind of contact. Basco's a good foul shooter. She's at the line for, she's got a 1-and-1 and is quickly moving to a 2-shot.
Chartier will get her 3rd personal. And this is what Cecilia was talking about with the reach in there with a couple of hands. And she'll go to the bench, take a break. Megan Light checks back in, and Basco goes to the free throw line where she is 4 of 4 in this game. Hasn't shot the ball well from the field. You saw 4 of 10, and she's okay at the foul line.
Basco's rested, and that's something we haven't seen. She was able to get 6 great minutes while her team just kept the lead at where it was when she was on the court.
She misses the second one. By the way, let me correct something. Strump has only 3 fouls, not 4. Blair Strump is playing with 3 right now on the court for the Stanleys. It's a 7-point Siena lead. Isadora down to the baseline. Strump off the glass from the rim. No good. Look at the board by Thorne and the putback. Allison Thorne on the weak side with a big rebound and basket. She's got 12 off the bench. 30-second timeout. A 30-second timeout called by the Fairfield Stags with 7:28 left in the second half and a 61-56 game. As you see Siena talking things over in their huddle. The Saints trying to win their first ever MAAC tournament title. Gina Castelli has done a great job in terms of regular season titles and MAAC Coach of the Year awards, 5 20-win seasons. She's accomplished everything you can do at Siena, except this one little thing that's win the MAAC tournament. And, you know, people in Albany are just kind of waiting for it to come, and maybe this is the year they finally get it done. Well, there's a long way to go in this game, as you see, 7 minutes and 28 seconds.
Lots of basketball left, but the way that Siena's been playing in this last 6 minutes, Howard, they've played as well as they did. And this is the kind of team and the kind of game that Coach Castelli has wanted.
But, you know, you got to figure at some point, Fairfield's going to make a run.
Oh, they always do, and they always do it in the last 7 minutes of a ball game. This is a critical time for the Saints.
Well, if for what it's worth, Fairfield is the more experienced team, but, I mean, when you win 23 games with underclassmen dominating your starting roster, I suppose you throw that stat out the window. Basco drives, Basco off the glass.
Well, you know, I think when you talk about the inexperience, you don't take into account that Basco and Ansoni play on Latvia's junior national team. The kinds of competition these kids have seen in their own country far surpasses what a normal sophomore or freshman would see in the United States. So their confidence level is a whole lot greater than any other 19-year-old that's playing in the U.S. of A.
Light can't hit the 3, and you saw in that last possession how high out Siena's defense met Fairfield's offense and made them set up their play so far away from the basket. Baker inside, knocked out by Thorne into the Siena bench. It'll stay Siena ball, but we're going to take a break. 6:32 remaining. The MAAC Player of the Year, Gunta Basco, hoping to get Siena that first ever MAAC crown. Siena's up 7. Welcome back to HSBC Arena in Buffalo. Siena leads Fairfield 63-56 in the MAAC Women's Championship game. The winner gets the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. The loser, MAAC officials feel they can make a serious case for the losing team tonight to get an at-large bid. MAAC hasn't had one since 1989, but look at these numbers. Fairfield with a 38 RPI, Siena with 44th, and it's been a very strong year for the MAAC, Cecilia, with a ranking of 15 in the conference power rankings.
This might be the best time that the MAAC has found itself in a position to send two teams. These two teams not only can they get there, but when they get there, they can play with the teams that they'll be seated against. Because of their 15th overall ranking, the MAAC teams are not going to be picking up against the first seed in tournament play.
Look at those numbers turned around in the second half. Now Siena shooting 52% from the field, and it's Fairfield struggling from the floor. Siena up 63-56. 5 on the shot clock. They got to hurry here. Spermulo. Walliger with a little time left, and it's an air ball, so that'll be a shot clock violation, and Fairfield will get it back. The Stags needing to get the offense going here in the second half. Take a look at the scoring. It was a 7-point game at halftime, but look at the second half. Siena outscoring the Stags 32-18. 15 of those 32 points have come from Liana Jansone inside.
Well, the message was get the ball inside, go right at Schrump, get her in foul trouble, and let's get some second shots. And they have responded absolutely in a fashion where this is a time when they could step away from Fairfield.
Vasco, great defense, double team. There was not much she could do with that shot. And Fairfield comes back. 5.5 to go. Stags working it inside. Strunk fouled from behind by Bosco. That's a big play. Strunk with the basket, and you see her trying to fire up her teammates, and Bosco just picked up her 4th foul with that.
Yeah, foul number 53, Guto Bosco. That's her 4th personal and the 10th team foul.
You take it here, and Gail goes up strong, and Gunther really should have just stepped away on that, especially where you bring it to the 4th. 5 minutes left. You can't substitute for her. She has to finish, but now she's tentative about board play, and that's the one thing that you don't want to become tentative about.
Jumped all net on the free throw. She's got 13, completes a 3-point play. It's now just a 4-point game. Bosco, keep it on the perimeter against the defense. Kicked out of bounds by Strump, and it'll be a reset of the clock, and it'll be Siena possession. Jolene Johnston will give Gunther Bosco a little break again with the 4 fouls. I don't expect she'll be on the bench very long. 5:11 left in the game as she sits down.
I can't imagine that she's going to spend more than maybe a minute and a half, but you know, the Saints did such a good job at keeping the lead at where it was when she went the last time. Coach Castelli's got to be thinking they can do it again.
I thought it was a kick and a reset. At least I thought I saw the signal, but the officials conferred, and they did not reset the clock. So 20 on the shot clock as Siena puts the ball in play, and Baker calls out a set. Walliger. Inside, nothing there. Johnston pops out. Spermulo with 7. Drives to the basket, leaves it long on the air ball, and rebound by Allison Thorne. They can shade that lead even more. White patiently bringing it into the front court. Tapley. Here's her 3, and she cannot get her shot to fall today. She has not been able to hit that at all. Walliger to Spermulo. 1-on-1, looks for the trailer. Nice play. Oh, look at the dish! And she can't hit the layup.
There's as pretty a pass as we've seen in the tournament.
Oh, what a pass by Sasha Baker. But Spermulo could not finish off. It stays a 4-point game. Strump. Isadora open underneath. It's a 2-point game.
And talk about the passing of Gail Schrump. It's one part of her game that she took to a different level this year.
Well, she had 11 assists in the first 2 games of this tournament. That's from your post player. Normally they don't do that much passing. Prone to more turnovers than assists, but not Gail Strump. Point forward, I guess. Baker, the ball knocked away. 10 on the shot clock. 3 launched by Walliger, no good. Jansone with the rebound and the putback.
That is a huge board, And look, You've got Anderson coming back in. It'll just be a few seconds. I'm sure we're going to see Gunther do the same thing. She's going to follow up to the half court.
Yansone with 25 points. What a big bucket that was. 3.5 to go. It's a 4-point game. Strumpf the basket. And the foul! Gail Strumpf responding for Fairfield. And Strumpf has hit some big buckets.
And Fairfield down the stretch recognizes the mismatch, gets it in right away. Strumpf very wisely takes it to the basket.
Foul on Johnston, her second. Look at the way she posted up Johnston. Nice and strong. And to her left with a little fall away. Off the glass and in. Strumpf right back at the free throw line now with 15 points. That's her season average. Now with 37 points in 3 MAAC tournament games. She finishes off the three-point play. 3:32 left in regulation. It's a 1-point game. Siena leading Fairfield in the MAAC championship game on the MAAC television network.
This game is brought to you in part by HSBC, your world of financial services. The Pepsi-Cola Company, the joy of Pepsi. Citizens Communications, the official telecommunications company of the MAAC. And by Chase Manhattan Bank, the right relationship is everything.
You think a lot of people want to see the Saints win tonight, but no more so than the group that we have on screen right now. You'll see Gina's mom and dad, Mike and Amy. In between them, her former college coach, Sister Maria, sitting in between her sisters, Lucy, Sandy, Nancy, family, friends. They're all there. Not just that, Gina's nephew, Michael, is the ball boy tonight. So I'll tell you what, they are here, they are ready, and they are not Fairfield fans.
By the way, this copyrighted telecast of the MAAC may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the MAAC and MAAC properties. We are going down to the wire, folks. 2 teams fighting tooth and nail for an NCAA tournament bid. Siena with the ball and the 1-point lead. Anderson back in the game with 4 fouls. Yansone has got another one inside. What a game for the freshman. She is making a tournament name for herself. 1 shy of her career high. She's got 27. 3-point game, under 3 minutes to go. Light, Strumpf's been answering back for Fairfield. She can't do it there. Thorne with a big rebound, and it's blocked by Basco and Yansone.
And Yansone got a handle on it.
Baker up court. Again, wisely pulling the ball out.
Baker makes good decisions down the stretch. She doesn't try to do things that she knows are not in the best interest of the team, especially during this crunch period.
And since she took that charge, Cecilia, she's on at least 3 occasions down court, pulled the ball out and waited for the teammates to set the offense up. 6 on the shot clock. Baker, jumper, no good. Isadora grabs the board. 2:19 left in regulation. 67-64, Siena. And the Saints hold on for their first trophy, or will Fairfield get their 4th? Tapley, left of the lane, puts it up off the glass and in.
And the senior makes it when she's needed.
She struggled. She's only got 5, 10 below her season average, but it's a big bucket to pull them within 1. Anderson and Baker. Baker relaying the set to Anderson. 1:49 and counting left regulation. Moshko inside, around Thorne, basket, no good, but she drew the foul.
Well, you know, right now, you look, all the starters except for Ayanna Brown. Thorne's in, and for her, as they go, she's going with her seniors. Thorne behind Basco. Basco's taking her the task. Thorne, really, she was beat. She really may have, probably should have backed up. But you look out here, all 5 starters of Siena are out there. All but Ayanna Brown back on the court. They're going with the people who brought them, Howard.
Well, Gunther Basco brought Siena to this point. The sophomore from Latvia hits the first free throw to make it a 2-point game. The foul on Thorne is her second. And that player of the year waiting for the second free throw. Net. She's got 17. Again, a 3-point lead. Tapley could change that in 1 shot. Thorne. Light into Strumpf. Strumpf working to the right and cannot get it to fall. Rebound batted around. Baker almost had it. Isadora recovers. Dish to Tapley. Lays it up and in. Fairfield with a quick timeout.
Just a heads-up play. on Isadora's part. Went to the glass, sees Tapley on the other side, gives it to her.
Seemed like Siena was beginning to head up without having possession of the basketball.
Well, Schrump takes an off-balance shot. Basco gets a hand on it, bats it down 1 inch away from Baker.
And Tapley converts. Let's go over to David Scott, sir.
All right, we're getting into crunch time, and Coach Nolan for the Fairfield Stags wants to go to the 2-3 with the triangle and 2 principle, where you have the 2 post players playing down low, and the other 3 players, the perimeter-oriented players, are in the zone formation. So switching up the defense a little bit towards the end, and we're going to see what happens. They've been in the past 2 times. It's been fairly effective. And look for Tapley to keep going to the hole. They want to give it to their senior. Her and Strump are the ones they're going to be looking to, Cecilia.
Well, you know it, Dave. Thank you, because I'll tell you what, you go with who brought you, and those seniors have been through this. And I would expect that Tapley's going to see the ball and that Schrump is going to see the ball down this stretch. But don't count out Isadora. She's been big.
By the way, I'm from Brooklyn. It's not Broad, it's Prangya. Prangya. It's that New England upbringing of yours. Baker on the wing, 15 on the shot clock. This possession will get us under a minute to go. Through the legs of Jansoni and out of bounds. Fairfield basketball. Down 1, they have a chance to take the lead. 1 minute even left in regulation.
And we said that this would come down to the last minute of play, Howard, and has it ever.
Boy, Siena lost a heartbreaker here 2 years ago at the end to St. Peter's by 2. This one's going down to the end as well. Tapley in front of her bench. Isadora, Light. They've consistently gotten the ball into the hands of Strump the last few possessions. She's got it out high, though. Tapley. Thorne, a defender, fell down, and then she's fouled as Baker had to come over. And Baker claims she was pushed out by Thorne. She went down, and Thorne was wide open, so Baker had to come over and foul.
Baker had to do it, and she was smart enough. You see this, you'll see the Tapley. Again, wow, that was offensive as it gets. But Thorne goes up strong. Baker just knows she has to stop the ball from getting to the glass, forcing Thorne, who's not a great foul shooter, to the foul line.
So Thorne to the free throw line, as you see the team 50%. And she can't get the roll. Oh, Thorne slapping the floor after that one. She is a 69% free throw shooter. Got 1 more to go. 0 for 2, though, at the line tonight for Allison Thorne, the senior from New York. She's had a very good game, 12 points off the bench. Misses them both, and Jansoni grabs the board. You see the clock ticking, and timeout called by Gina Castelli with a huge possession here to try and make it at least a 3-point game. 35.6 seconds remaining. I wonder who they'll go to.
Well, they
have 2 options, but the
options.
hot hand is Jansoni, but obviously it's not bad if you try the MAAC Player of the Year either.
Well, you know, Jansoni has come up so big, and I don't know that anyone else right now, other than those 2 players, will take the shot, unless, Howard, it gets down to the last 6 seconds, and then you'll see whomever's available. But I have to think that at this point in the season that they have set plays that Fairfield's aware of so that everybody's ready. So who makes the big play for you?
You see the timeouts remaining. Fairfield with a full and a 30. Siena with just a 30. The arrow favors Fairfield. As far as the free throws, both teams are in the double bonus. Hey, this is fun.
This is great, but I'll tell you what I don't want to see happen is I don't want to see an official make a call that coaches think about for the rest of the year.
Well, and they don't want to make it either.
And they don't want to make it either. This is a great crew because you haven't noticed them.
It's been a good game. I was just going to say, we saw the Thorne play a moment ago, but there really haven't been many plays today where we said, wow, that's just not the right call. Let's check in with David Scott. David, you're over by Siena.
Unless what I'm hearing was wrong, it looks like they're going to have Baker try and have the ball inbounds, and she's going to be in charge of dribble penetrating, and she'll have the decision to make who to dump off to. You got to think Basco's going to get it, don't you, Cecilia?
Oh, Basco and Jansoni, those are the 2 players that have been money players all year long.
Jansoni pops out. Basco guarded by Thorne, 15 on the shot clock. Basco trying to fight Thorne for position, knocks her down, and she falls down, and Thorne's got the ball.
And McKissick really should have held at that point because Basco was fighting with Thorne down low. But look, Fairfield still has to score to win.
Let's watch this again. Now watch at the middle of the screen. You see Thorne fell down, but Basco went down with her. And then the ball went right into the hands of Allison Thorne on the floor. So Fairfield has 17.8 seconds to operate with. Both teams now down to just one 30-second timeout each. And now let's talk about Fairfield, and David Scott is doing his best. You see him? There he is right there, eavesdropping into the Fairfield huddle. I think I see him suggesting a play. That's the scary thing. But again, now we talked about the two post players for Siena. On the other hand, you got to figure at some point you want to get the ball into the hands of 35 here.
Oh, yeah, you have to, because she's brought you here. You've got to get the ball in her hands. She's got to go up strong or get to the foul line with 17 seconds.
Do you miss this, Coach?
Oh, yeah. This is the time that I can feel it in my throat.
Now what's she talking about? A little dribble penetration here? Or is it where she started with
what she's doing is she's telling the player she wants the ball in the middle of the court. It may take it over from left to right.
Okay.
And then that may, you miss here, right here, that's the dot. She's got a screen that she's asking for. And then she's asking if I can read from what she's doing, for Gail to come up to the foul line and then to head back door.
All right, let's go over and see what David has to say.
Well, it looks like they're going to try and go into, they're going to inbound it with Light, getting it to Tapley. Tapley will try and get it into Strump. If she can't get it, they're going to look for Isadora at the top of the key. One other thing, Thorne sat down on the bench, grabbed the tails of my sport coat, and started screaming, "Oh my God!" I think she's a little bit nervous.
All right, Tapley's got it. Fairfield down 1, and we are under 10 seconds. Tapley inside, knocked away by Yansoni! And she is fouled with 5.1 seconds to go. She fronted Strumpf. That's the play they wanted, to get it into Strumpf. Yansoni fronted her and knocked it away.
And Thorne just overreacted there. She didn't have to foul. Now she sends Yansoni to the foul line with the Saints up by 1 with 5 seconds.
Let's watch the defense here now. Look at Yansoni fronting. Did a nice job of not fouling Strumpf and able to get that tap.
You know, Howard, Coach Nolan had asked them to take the ball to the top and dribble it to the right. They didn't do that.
She's got 28. The freshman is the best free throw shooter for Gina Castelli's team at 78%. This for the all-important three-point lead, so Fairfield could do no worse than tie. And it's in and out. Timeout called by Fairfield with 3.9 seconds left and a 2-point lead, 70-68. Wow. And David will be eavesdropping once again. Now, the problem here is it's not the NBA. No. You have to go the length of the court in 3.9 seconds. Now, it's not a lot of time, but it can be done if you get it into the hands of somebody who just drive to the basket.
Well, you know, the only player with the kind of speed on the dribble might be Isadora, and she's not handling the basketball. So you're going to look for, obviously, Siena's going to come up and pressure hard on the ball and hope that they can just take a second or two up. Isadora's the only one that can handle that. Coach Nolan has to decide, does she go with a more lengthy pass?
Yeah.
Tough decision, because they may not get a shot off, Howard. That's a good shot.
David, go ahead.
You're going to look for Strump or Tapley. I think Tapley's probably a better outside shooter. Look for her at top of the key.
All right, let's see if they go for the long bomb here. They do indeed, and they're behind the defense. Why don't they hurry? Isadora will make her back. Isadora for 3. Short! Siena wins it!
The final score, the Siena Saints 70, the Fairfield Stag 68.
The Siena Saints headed to the NCAA tournament for the first time in school history, and we'll let you watch them celebrate.
What a finish, Howard. What a finish. You see Coach Castelli hugging Baker. Take a look at this. Her family is absolutely out of control.
Look at the ladies celebrating for the Siena Saints, the 2001. There's the family. Her parents and her coach in college, Sister Maria, and her sisters in tears.
Oh, they have to be so happy. She's a baby sister. They want to see a great thing. And talk about tears. Take a look at the Fairfield bench. Tapley,
the seniors.
They're just devastated. But I have to tell you, this conference is sending 2 teams to the tournament. Fairfield's going to go. Saints have made sure they're going to get there one way. I believe that Fairfield, the conference, is going to get there in another way.
As we look at the Fairfield bench, let's look at the last play once again as Siena dances around midcourt. It worked. The inbounds play worked. You see for a moment a 2-on-1. Strumpf and Isadora got behind them. Baker back defensively. Look where Strumpf was. She was open in the paint, and Isadora pops the jump shot, and it hits the iron and bounces off. Siena grabs the rebound, and they celebrate. The coaches Diane Nolan and Gina Castelli back to wrap it up. Siena with their first ever MAAC Tournament Championship. Back to wrap it up in a moment here in Buffalo. The celebration is on here in Buffalo and back in the Capital District. Siena is headed to the NCAA tournament for the first time. The Saints pulling out the 70-68 win. You see Liena Jansoni, the freshman from Latvia, the Pepsi player of the game. 28 points, 20 in the second half, 10 rebounds, 10 of 13 from the field. What a fantastic game. Pepsi, the joy of Pepsi. Howard Simon, Cecilia DeMarco, and David Scott. We've seen a number of great performances in this tournament, usually from upperclassmen. What an amazing game for Liena Jansoni, the freshman. She carried the Saints on her back in the second half.
Well, she carried them when Basco got in foul trouble. That was the game. Fairfield had a chance, Howard, to take away. Jansoni wouldn't let it happen. She just did great work. But, you know, I'll tell you what. I watched the coaches at the end of this game when Gina walked over to Coach Nolan. Coach Nolan hugged her and said, I am happy for you. How big is that?
Well, I tell you what, you look at the sad faces for Fairfield, but 25-5, you would think they would get an at-large bid, should get a WNIT bid at the very least. For Siena, some of them dealing with the heartbreak 2 years ago on this same floor, losing at the end to St. Peter's. Now they know the joy of winning a MAAC championship. Siena, 24 wins, a school record, and their first ever bid to the NCAA tournament. Liena Jansoni, Gunta Basco, Gina Castelli and company. Congratulations to the 2001 MAAC champions. The final again, Siena beats Fairfield 70-68. For Dave and Cecilia, I'm Howard Simon. Thanks to the crew as well, and good night from Buffalo.